Good day, guys. I hope we are all good. I hope we're good. It's a new week, new goals. Sorry for the late session, but anyways, let's get into it. Let's not waste time. So I'm gonna start up with C1. All right. So looking at C1, I had a point of interest yesterday. As you can see, I've got a supply zone right there. So it's still active because fuel price might still come take out this liquidity, tap us into the trade before they actually drop all the way down. So that's still my current view, but let's see what we have going on the H1. I've been skeptical to scalp this one, even though it looks like it could also play out. But I've been a bit skeptical. Yesterday, they didn't get to the zone I mentioned, but we ended up having a pattern here. So today, maybe this pattern could play out. It might, but I don't want to engage into this trade at the moment. Okay, let me see if I can minimize this noise. All right, there's less interference, so let's quickly continue. So I'm still not going to be active on this one. I'm just a little bit skeptical because I feel price can still come up to the supply zone. So where could I possibly sell? So at the same time, I don't want to miss out on this sell, right? So where can I possibly sell? So let's say price decide to push down, break the zone. I'm looking for a potential reaction here or a potential reaction in this zone here. So price can still come down here, then come up here, come back down, then continue selling off. That's what I would potentially trade. So for now, I'm not active on C1. I'm still waiting for price to break. At the same time, again, remember there's an 800 EMA here, so that might also stop price. And price might even come back up here to our point of interest before selling. So that's my view on C1. C3, starting off at the daily, so price already retraced into this area 3 days ago. Let's see. So this could be a retracement, right, for more sales potentially. So that's our current bias. So this is the zone I was talking about. We had a supply zone here, price pushed down, came back, retested. Good entry to sell. Order block here, broken, retested, price continued dropping. So from the daily time frame, price can potentially come to retest the 50 EMA, and it can potentially come back into the zone again, into the supply zone here on H4. So that's my point of interest. But if you also notice where we came with this price, you can see we started all the way up here. We've been breaking structures. You can see the zones which were not retested. So all those zones, they remain valid from my point of view, but the immediate point of interest is this area here. So if we get anywhere around, from about 3688, 3688, 3716, 3764, anyway, in this area, I want to get a nameable candle, maybe a pattern from a higher time frame like this. Maybe if we can get like an M type pattern, then maybe we can look for potential sells. So that's my current view on C3. As you can see, even on the H1, price is on that steady pushing up back into that 4-hour supply zone. So Just wait to see how price reacts on that area. Going to C5. Okay, this was yesterday. I just marked it yesterday. I didn't trade it though. I'm just seeing how price played out. Okay, so looking at this price action, I'm viewing it two ways. Peak, break of structure, retest, continuation to the upside. That's the first view I have from the daily, especially seeing how prices are rejecting these on this 30 EMA on the daily. We could potentially push up, but looking at H4 now, what you see that we've got like an M here, liquidity slightly taken, so we can see that sell still developing to the downside, right? We also have a baseline bounce here, potential baseline bounce here. So what we want now is price to come close below the 13 EMA to give us a safe entry sell or a potential pattern. Looking at it from H1, I would say I want to see price break back below, because this is a broken structure, right? So if we are to go down, I want to see price come back below that zone. Otherwise, this could be a breaker block for price to actually bounce off before pushing up. So I want to see price coming below 33.07. Then give me maybe a nice retracement. Then I will look for a good sell to the downside. So that's my current view. They looking at it from M15. You can see our zone there, which we want to be broken. Today's high, breaker block, short-term sell possible back into the zone. So we're looking at a trade like this, a sell back into the zone. But for us to have a safe sell, they have to come below the zone for us to actually sell. So looking at it like this, they can still come back up, create equal highs. They can still come retest the broken order block. Those are possibilities, but I would rather wait for a safe entry sell below the zone here. So that will be my view on C5. But if I have any other different view as the price action paints during the day, I'll advise on the Telegram group. So looking at B5, you can see I was sort of marking it on the weekly. I'm sort of trying to lean on being bullish long term. Just looking at this price action here, I'm trying to simplify it as much as possible. So we've got a peak here. This is the whole of 2023. So we had a peak formation low, a broken structure, and a broken order block, which became a breaker block, which was retested. We also have a zone which became a support, right? So those are confluences lining up, also trading about the 13 nameable candles throughout. Then price continued to push. Structure was broken here. Structure was broken here by this spike. Then they came back, retested the same zone in here, slightly taking out liquidity below this order block here. Then they pushed up, painting, leaving another order block here and pushing up, breaking this structure as well. And they sort of bounced off these highs here. So if you turn your charts to a line chart, you see those are the highs, candlestick body highs, and price is sort of rejecting that area. So this is what's giving me that bias for now. But at the same time, we don't want to be too early into the bias because this is a long-term view. It's just giving us like a framework. So as we are in this bias, what do we have? We have structure getting broken here by this move, which took our liquidity, and we immediately got that retracement. So looking to my left, if we're on a smaller time frame, I'm using this as a point of interest. So we might get this, right? That's just like an overview bias which I have. So let's see that zone which we have from the weekly. You will notice that is this last order block which was left before this peak. So this is the lows of January. January broke this zone, pushed up. We didn't get a retest of the broken order block. So I'm thinking that could be the retest which could potentially happen around this area. Then we can look for long-term buys. So for now, that's my current view long term. If it does change, I will advise. So for now, we don't have a buy until we get to around 46.80. From 46.80, we'll be starting to look for patterns on the smaller time frame. We'll be starting to look for rejection candles. But if price comes down and breaks that level, it might still be coming to the 200 EMA. They might even take out these lows. Then a new fresh pattern will paint here to support the buying bias. But if they keep coming down, then that will be another different setup happening. So looking at H4 again, nothing really to trade. Better to just wait to see how price comes down to our point of interest. For us to consider buys, price simply has to close above this week's highs, which is right there around 48.95. So sometimes price will fail to come down here. They will just start showing momentum here. So if we come and close above here, we can consider buys, and we'll see if they can break this level, maybe retest it and give us a sign of a continuation up. So for today, I do not have anything. Maybe we might get an intraday reversal later in the day, but for now, we don't have anything clear. If you notice yesterday through this downtrend, this is lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, until price bounced off the previous day's low. Then we had a order block here, which was broken. Price only retested early hours today. But again, the buy move didn't follow through because we are strong bearish within that higher time frame retracement. So that's my current view on B500. So looking at B1000, it humbled me yesterday. I made a mistake, broke one of my rules. So before we even continue, I would advise you guys to always follow your rules when you trade. So the rule I broke was I took a trade when I was literally like tired. It was literally after midnight and I was about to sleep, but I saw what I thought was a setup. Then I also made a mistake because when I saw it, I was like, okay, let me just wait a few minutes. Let me see what happens within a few minutes. If it doesn't play out, I'll close. So the other mistake I did is I didn't put an immediate stop loss. I wanted to manage it manually, but you know when your body is tired, soon as I put the phone down, I slept here. So when I woke up, I think price was here in the morning and it was a huge loss. So what I would advise is always make sure you follow your trading rules. Always make sure you take your trades. Better to trade actually in the morning. Mornings are even better when your brain is still fresh. Or mark up your charts when it's in the morning and your brain is fresh. Then throughout the day, you can just wait and check on price to hit your point of interest before you execute your trade. And you can see this is a strong downtrend. I don't even know my reason for buying. I think I was looking for an intraday reversal here and it didn't follow through. Right, and you can see I had actually this supply zone. So I thought price would come here, then continue down. But if the trend is strong against you, sometimes it's best to just not trade. So just bear that in mind. As much as we say B5, we might wait for intraday reversal. Sometimes price doesn't push to where you want because the momentum will be strong in a certain direction. For example, this failed to push up here. As much as the setup played out halfway, they didn't get here because the downtrend was too strong. So same applies. You can see it happened with B1. If we drop to M15, you will see I was looking at this as the low, and I'm not sure if I had marked the zone. I wanted a break. We actually got the break, but there was an immediate reaction here, which I failed to notice because I had dozed off. Otherwise, I would have actually closed with a small profit on this trade. but it ended up being a loss which was actually uncalled for. So looking at it today, we can potentially, again, we're looking for retracements to the up move. So where could we potentially retrace to? I would love to see a break above this zone. So if we get a break here, we can consider that. If we get a break here, we can consider this. Coming back to the open price of today, that would be my setup on B1. So this setup is actually immediate. It could play out right now. Looking at H1, I also see that we've taken out liquidity here on the bottom on today's lows. Liquidity has definitely been taken out. So we're looking for that retracement up. Where is the safe entry sell if we want to take this trade without having a loss? So I want to take you back to yesterday's example. So you will notice that the peak I had when I decided to take the trade, the only visible order block was here. So the safe entry for buys would have been here. So I broke a lot of rules here, and I have to blame it on being tired. You know, when you're tired, your mind will just be showing you things which are not there. So I ended up taking a loss, early entry, no confirmation, uh, and I'll emphasize that do not make those mistakes. So today, looking at today now, we've got that peak and we've got an order block right here. So if we can break above, if we can break above 13,377 or 13,375, I'm looking forward to scalp a buy. Soon as we get motion up here, I'm looking to have a buy trade. So if we come to M15, you see that this is the safe zone to buy. So I'm looking for a push up here. Maybe we might get a slight retracement, and I'll be targeting a take profit around today's open price. Let's see where we can potentially scale out. So if we enter here, uh, if you notice going back to yesterday's lows, it's actually 50 pips. So we can even take a quick scalp right there. Take 50 pips and call it a day. If we get that set up, it looks like it's got potential to play out, especially if we break that above zone. Entering here, the pattern is forming, yes, but the fact that it's a smaller time frame and we don't have confirmation yet makes it a low probability trade to actually buy here, even though it can play out based on this current bias which we are formulating. But I would rather wait for price to come around 13,375, 13,380. Once we get it close above these areas, we're buying and we're targeting 50 pips minimum and a potential of 100 pips plus on this particular setup. So that's my current view. And again, we're trading into a daily retracement. If you notice, I've got this zone where price can still get to. Right? You can see this low here on the daily chart, right? They can still come take out this liquidity before we get that retracement I'm talking about. So that particular move will be an extension of the lows. It simply means today's current lows will be extended again and another pattern will form on the bottom here and this will become invalid. So soon as this is broken, this zone becomes invalid because price will be creating a new peak here. So again, if I see anything different during the course of the day, if I'm on the charts, I'll advise on the Telegram group. So looking at J10, let's see. So I had this zone here broken, which is it. These zones were all marked sometime last week. You can see price eventually came up here, took liquidity, then retraced. Are they going to bounce off here and come back up, or are they going to come back below and continue pushing down? I think I'll only be able to have a clear view on J10 tomorrow because I want to see how today's daily candlestick closes. So J10 today we will be active. I still want to see how this current daily candle closes, whether we'll be below the zone or we'll be up above the zone, so that we can formulate a bias. So for now, I do not have anything solid on J10. V2501S, I remember we had a good trade last week. Beginning of last week, we had nice buys. You can see how it was formulated of the zones, and it just played out. So coming into this week, what I want to do is, let me just clear all these zones here so that we don't get confused. Checklist. Okay, so clean chart, what do we have? Last week we extended the highs, then we started pushing down. So what I see from the H4, I usually like to mark my zones on H4. So what I see from the peak up here, I've got a broken order block which hasn't been retested. So a retest of this zone could give us sells. Price retests into this area, we could get sells. That's possible. There is a bit of a fair value gap in there, which is also a possible play. But let me just check how the daily chart is looking. So daily, we've been steady bearish. These are the all-time lows. What? No, these are not the all-time lows. So where could this price be coming to? Okay, we're looking for sells. We're looking for either sells below this black line I just put, or a liquidity grab before we get long-term buys. Weekly looks like we will be selling. Okay, I feel like price is already rejected here. All right. Let's see. So all-time low is here. That's also a potential draw in liquidity. So if price comes, takes our liquidity here, we might be looking for price to actually start pushing up. At the same time, I want you to notice that we had a zone here which didn't hold here for a continuation up. It was broken. We also had could call this whole area a zone basically, which was broken aggressively. Looks like it's being rejected. So we could be having a bearish bias for now. Okay, so let's check daily to confirm. Past 3 days have been bearish. H4, we've been bearish, breaking a lot of structures. All structures from last week have been broken. Slight retracement here. Let me just check where we retraced to. Okay, we retraced, looks like to these lows here. We just tapped into them. So if we extend this, that's also a possible zone where price can still do this. This is also a point of interest, but just bear in mind these are higher time frames. Okay, just a moment. Oh, all right, sorry about that. Let's see. So these are the 2 points of interest based on H4. So I would love to wait and see what price wants to do, because we've had such a strong momentum down, then it sort of slowed down here. So could we get a retracement? Is price wanting to come and tap into the zone before giving us the retracement? That we have to wait and find out. So for now, I want to see H4 paint a couple of candles. So this could be a setup for maybe tomorrow, which is currently loading right now. Again, from the H1, you can see we had our peak here, a broken order block, which was retested, strong push down. Then we broke this zone, retested it twice, came down. I just spotted another point of interest here. If we've got so much momentum, price will also just come into this zone here on H1, which is a resistance zone. It's just a broken zone, which could be potentially be retested for more sales. So I'll be looking for how price reacts here. If they break, I'll be waiting for them here, especially looking at this level because they might just be coming to take out liquidity before the sales continue. So that's my views today. Okay, B1 is actually in motion, just like we said. So I'm just going to open one position here. Okay, I just saw it a bit late, but anyways, it's fine. We might anticipate a slight retracement before price continues to push up based on the setup I explained. So that's it for B1. Let's check. H1 is coming with some nice momentum there. Let's see how this painted. Okay, perfect. So normally, let's say I'm stoking, I would have loved to enter here because based on the buyers, if you see price coming towards your area, you want to have one runner there. Then as soon as it confirms like this is where you add your second position. Then if you get a retracement, you look maybe to add a third. Just it's based on your risk for that particular trade or your risk to reward. So B1, we're waiting. C1, we're also waiting to see what they want to do with the zone, as we explained. C5 as well as C3. So that's it for today. Our only running trade for now will be B1000, and we're just going to stoke it. Once we get a slight retracement here. So again, remember, we still need a close above this one. That's why you see we didn't have like multiple positions. We just put one. This zone we need price to actually close above that zone for it to be a safe entry. So soon as it is confirmed, for example, right here on M15, soon as we get it close above, then we're waiting for a slight retracement. We scale in and we take our pips for the day. So I hope today's session was productive. I hope you learned something or two. If there is other volatility indices you want us to look at, please don't hesitate to write them in the comment, because I only share what I trade. These are the only assets I trade which are on the bottom here. So if there's maybe something extra you want us to just maybe have an insight on before we host our session, you can still also send me a message on Telegram so that I look at it during the live session. And it's also nice if you're in the session in case you've got questions based on the assets you trade. That would also help. Apart from that, I hope you guys have a peaceful week. Good trading.